Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Andy, good morning to you. It is Friday. It is July 31st, and we're going to check on that weekend forecast and decent chances of rain coming up with meteorologist Justin Horn in just a moment.
But first, I'm sure your social media pages have been flooded with these black and white photos of women with the hashtag challenge accepted. And a lot of questions have brought up, like, what is this and why are women doing it?
There's an article on KSAT.com this morning, and it's written by Kathleen Foodie with the Associated Press. The headline, Women Embrace Challenge Accepted, but some ask to what end?
Yeah, the challenge accepted, they wrote, female Instagram users across the U.S. are flooding the photo sharing app with black and white images. Together, they formed a grid of millions of magazine-style captures of celebrities, spur-of-the-moment selfies, and filtered snaps from weddings or other occasions. The official goal, a show of support of other women.
So an accompanying hashtag, women supporting women, often the only sign of the campaign's intent, along with the Friends Instagram handles to encourage participation. And some users quickly began to wonder, according to this article, what's the point?
The article goes on to say, to some observers of social media activism, hashtag challenge accepted represents a clear example of slacktivism. Campaigns based on social platforms that require little effort of participants.
There's no donation requested, no volunteer shift required, just a few minutes to post a message or image that people are unlikely to fight over, according to the writer of the article.
They say photo-driven campaigns can become a powerful push for social change, but they feel this latest effort so far lacks a concrete goal.
Let's give you some context here. A digital media professor at University of Virginia said successful selfie protests made what's invisible visible. They are effective when they shift public perception, when they create a counterculture, when they resist, when they claim a place online.
Now, other activisms say, they encourage this to continue happening, but maybe have more depth to it. I do want to add, though, when someone, I don't know if this is being shown on when you post, that women are sometimes sending messages, personal, private messages, the people they're, challenging, saying, hey, I challenge you for this because I think you're a strong woman, for these reasons. So. Yes. Maybe that's not being apparent here.
Well, real quick, on a footnote, another professor, an associate dean at the University of Hawaii, said, would I like challenge accepted to have more of an activist bent? Absolutely. Do I want to say people are doing it completely wrong and they shouldn't bother posting? No, because you have to start somewhere.
All right, let's take a look at our rundown.
A new prediction this morning about the coronavirus. Researchers are now forecasting another 80,000 deaths in the U.S. by November. And they warn that number could grow higher if Americans don't wear masks.
Condolences have been pouring in for a Leon Valley Elementary School cafeteria manager who died of COVID-19. Michelle Villarreal worked at Northside ISD for 10 years.
New concerns about delays at the post office. The Washington Post reports the Postal Service is experiencing days-long backlogs across the country. The president Thursday suggested the election be delayed.
The president met with the family of Vanessa Guillen yesterday. He told the family they have his support and that he will personally help pay her funeral expenses.
New documents out this morning reveal emails sent between sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and his alleged accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell. The documents confirm Maxwell was in contact with Epstein 5 years ago, contradicting her recent claim that they had no contact with each other in the last decade.
Former employees of The Ellen Show accusing showrunners and producers of racism, unfair terminations. THR reporting this morning the removal of Ed Glavin, one of the show's 3 executive producers at the center of many of the nastier claims.
Workers at the store can now ask Sam when they need help. The voice assistant app helps employees search for products and prices as well as pull up store maps. NASA launching the rover Perseverance, and a San Antonio native helped make the mission happen. Philip Hargrove is a trajectory analyst, and he was a part of the group that helped determine the safest path for the rocket that carries the rover.
Comedian Tim Allen
Saw his name trending on Twitter, and that prompted rumors that he had passed away. But the real reason he was trending was because a sports blogger made a joke about him.
Allen responded by tweeting, imagine my surprise when I woke up this morning to a beautiful day in Michigan only to find out I'm dead. Check out the face mask with the well-placed wine flap. The opening is a lid from a pack of baby wipes.
Oh, she joked she's taking orders if anyone wants some.
That is a mom who knows how to multitask.
It was just a matter of time, wasn't it? Let's go outside with live cam. And earlier today, Mike Osage was talking about rain chances getting a bit of a bump. Let's see what the latest is as of 9:03 with meteorologist Justin Horn.
Yeah, the reason for that bump in rain chances is a frontal boundary. I know it sounds weird to talk about a front in late July, early August, but here we are. There is a frontal boundary headed our way. It's nothing more than a wind shift, but it could be enough to spark off some showers and storms this afternoon. So let's take a look at the setup right now. That front is across North Texas. It's already creating some showers and storms up across Northeast Texas and out towards the Permian Basin. This front should be here by this afternoon. And when it arrives with the warm weather in place and the humidity, we could see a couple of strong storms. So there is a marginal risk of severe weather this afternoon. Basically, I think the main threat is going to be some gusty winds. 81 degrees at the airport right now, 80 at Randolph, 83 New Braunfels. Quite a bit of morning cloud cover out there. So we'll have another couple of hours here of some mostly cloudy conditions. Forecast calls for about a 30% chance of rain this afternoon and this evening. Again, a couple strong storms mixed in there too. We're going to be tracking it all for you through the day, and we'll have more on that forecast here in just a few minutes. Guys.
Thank you, Justin. Quick look at TransCat. We have a traffic alert coming up for you in just a moment. But Highway 90 at Medio Creek, traffic is looking very, very good. 410 at Culebra, no problems to report. Same thing with 410 at State Highway 151.
Now to that traffic alert. A major accident on the southwest side has part of Loop 410 currently shut down. The accident happened just after 7 this morning on 410 near Somerset Road.
Right now, you are looking live at the scene. We have a crew out there right now. Police tell us the driver lost control, crossed the median, and crashed head-on into another vehicle. Officers tell us that 2 people were taken to area hospitals. Eastbound lanes of 410 are going to remain closed for at least a few more hours as investigators try to figure out what happened. If things open back up during this newscast, we will let you know as soon as possible. We also have an update to a story we first brought you earlier this morning on GMSA. The Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office has confirmed the man has died after being stabbed multiple times overnight.
San Antonio police say it all started in the 5700 block of Industry Park Drive just before 12:30 this morning. Police tell us the victim, who was in his 50s, got into an argument in a motel room that led to him being stabbed.
Officers say the suspect ran away and they're still looking for him. Right now, we're still waiting to learn the victim's name.
We're still waiting to learn the name of the 17-year-old boy who was killed in a shooting on the north side overnight.
Right now, police are looking for the person responsible there. The shooting happened around 4:30 this morning in the 7600 block of McCullough near Oblate. Police tell us the teen walked out of his home to meet with 3 friends when one of them ambushed him and shot him in the head.
The victim was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators are still trying to figure out what led to the shooting.
And police say a man trying to take his own life ended up taking someone else's.
That man is now facing murder charges. Police say around 6:30 last night, 26-year-old Colby Burke was driving on Babcock Road. He told police he intentionally drove into another vehicle so he could kill himself. That vehicle then caught fire. A 19-year-old woman inside that car was killed, and 2 other people had to be taken to the hospital. Police tell us Burke tried to run away from the scene, but he was arrested a short time later.
We're still waiting to learn the name of the woman killed in that crash.
The community will come together today to honor former Judson High School football player who passed away from kidney cancer.
A public viewing and funeral for 17-year-old Bryce Wisdom is taking place this morning. The viewing started at 9, goes through 11 at Agape Christian Church in the 1400 block of Judson Road. It is open to the public, but everyone is required to wear masks, and only 10 people are allowed inside the church at a time.
The funeral will take place right after, but it will be private. We will have a live stream of the services on KSAT.com.
Well, in your other morning headlines, some amazing video of an apartment complex fire in Pennsylvania, and an officer barely escapes injury while at a traffic stop.
Police officers end up being a cowboy to save a horse from a fire, and another big fish story. Our big fish, David Sears, is here.
So if you don't have a scale, how do you know how much something really weighs?
That's a good question.
All right. Let's see if we can answer that in just a second. We're going to start with some incredible video, though. This is a fire. This is an apartment complex in Pennsylvania. This whole complex burning at once. You can see flames all over the place. The fire actually began in a single unit, and then it spread. Several people had to be rescued. One person had to be rescued from the 3rd floor, actually. And believe it or not, reports are that somewhere between 1 and 7 people, that's it, suffered some sort of injury. Now about 100 residents are looking for a place to stay, though. All right, this is pretty scary. It shows at the top of your screen. Police car right here. I'll get out of the way and look out. Here comes a car. Side swipes that officer. This is in Duluth, Minnesota. You can see that the driver clipped that officer being chased. Here's dash cam video. The officer is Nick Hudson. He pulls over a driver. Then he gets out of his car. The vehicle got him on the arm. Ouch, look at that right there. A little pain, another angle. This is body cam video as he gets out of the car. Oh, are you kidding me? Police officer okay. Driver charged with criminal vehicular operation resulting in injury, but that's not all. The driver also charged with driving while intoxicated and possession of fentanyl. All right, this is what every horse owner fears. Hay in the barn, catching fire. Back in Pennsylvania, talk about showing some guts under fire, literally. More body cam video. The officer goes into the stall to try and get the horse to come out. Phoebe, obviously, is a little scared. The officer, Christian Hughes, trying to get a halter on her. You can tell when a horse is spooked because bad things can happen. The officer kept his poise and got some help from a riding instructor. She actually took her shirt off to put it over the horse's eyes so they could get that horse out of the stall and then out of the barn. Look at there. Mission accomplished. He's a cowboy, didn't know it. Hey, and an update. This happened a week ago. Phoebe doing great. One of the friends of the farmer's owner did suffer some second and third degree burns. All right, there you go. There's some shark sightings off of the coast of Manhattan. This is one of them. Shark sighting? No, that's a shark catch right there. TJ Minutio and two friends actually reeled this one in at night. It's an 8-foot-long bull shark. They say it weighs 400 pounds. Now, how do they really know? They couldn't pick it up if it weighed 400 pounds, right?
Guesstimation.
So they just kind of say, hey, it's 8 foot long, so it must be 400 pounds. Yep. All right. But they are some catch and release guys. So what do? They didn't really toss it back like you would a bass. They had to like push it back in the ocean.
We're catch and release guys, so I mean, we don't really care. Like, I don't eat them. None of us really eat them, you know, and they belong in the water. They're chilling. They're not bothering anyone. So we're like, hell yeah, just throw it back.
It's kind of chilling out. They still don't know how they knew it was 400 pounds without weighing it, but you know. But they can get one of your scales, Mark, and just like hold the fish up, right? Isn't that how you do it?
You need.
It's like, does your scale go to 400
Like a bigger
pounds?
boat, you're going to need a bigger scale.
Yes, bigger scale. All right. Finally, you have to wonder about these bears. Check this guy out right here. This bear is so cool. Got the trash can. He rolls the trash can backwards, like closer to the house. So apparently his buddies can't find him now. So he's got that whole trash can to himself, found some lasagna inside, and started going to town. Like, his buddy's like, hey, where you going? What are you doing? It's like, I'm like sneaking this trash can back here, got some lunch.
You know, if you time this right, even with the lasagna as bait, you could get those cans to the curb for pickup day, right? Just depends.
I just love that.
They should name him Garfield.
And the other bear just walks right behind him and takes off, and he's like, huh?
Yeah, lazy bear.
Great stuff.
Thank you, David.
All right.
Right now it's 9:11, 81 degrees, still ahead on GMSA at 9.
A Burbank family is bringing the fun to look at. A homemade aquarium and zoo catching neighbors' eyes.
Matthew McConaughey coming out with a new book, Topo Chico, being made into a hard seltzer, and the Spurs revealing the social justice messages they'll have on the back of their jerseys. Eric Hernandez has details on some trending stories later in our newscast.
Parents, teachers stressed about the upcoming school year? Well, you're definitely not alone. Hundreds are working together on a Facebook group to make sure that this school year is off to a smooth start. How you can join totally free just ahead on GMSA at 9.
Welcome back. It's 9:15. There's a growing concern among parents and teachers over how they'll manage teaching during a pandemic while ensuring a high-quality education for students.
They've taken their frustrations, questions, and ideas to a new Facebook community, Quaranteach. It's a Facebook group that offers a space to talk about schooling during quarantine.
Our Alicia Barrera has the story.
Looking for a teacher, offering tutoring. Did your child not end the school year strong? These are just some of the questions and topics taking over the group Quaranteach San Antonio.
Anyone that posts a question or looks for advice, teachers are answering, giving advice.
Kendall Aljabori is a former NEISD teacher and during the past few years has homeschooled her 2 youngest children. This year, she's adding a 3rd student to her workload.
So I made the choice to homeschool my 7th grader this coming school year, because it is just uncertain.
With questions of her own, she decided to create the Facebook group Quaranteach San Antonio. It's an online community of parents and educators to help navigate online school, homeschool, and everything in between.
Basically, teachers had a separate conversation and parents had separate concerns. And I thought that there was definitely opportunity to bring them together.
According to the page, it's a politics-free zone to ask questions and share advice on how to succeed educationally during quarantine.
I think people are nervous that maybe they're not going to have enough support, or some people just have kids in older grades and they're nervous about feeling like they can teach their children, algebra or pre-calculus.
School supplies for virtual schooling is also a hot topic in the group.
I saw some really great ideas, like little whiteboards, dry erase markers, journals, just things that are going to make things run smoother for you and your children, but also not where you have to invest a lot of money right now because we don't know how long this is going to last.
Through the group, parents can hire private certified instructors or simply be able to relate to others and know they're not alone.
Because people are answering and giving really heartfelt advice, and it's just, I think, helping a lot of people get more confidence for this upcoming school year.
And Kendall created this group about a month ago, and already it's spread like wildfire, and that's because parents and teachers need all the help they can get for free. More than 1,200 people are now part of this group, and on KSAT.com we do have a link on how to join that group. Reporting live, Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News.
Thanks, Alicia.
Justin, it's time for my favorite part of our 9 a.m. segment.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun on this Friday. We've got 3 junior meteorologists together today. This is Braden, Brinley, and Autumn. Take a listen.
These are my cousins, and we're twins. Hello, San Antonio! It's hot outside. You might want to get in your swimming pool. Have some popsicles and have some fun.
Mom and Dad need to save that video forever because it is precious.
Yeah, they do.
A terrific trio.
Play it at the wedding. That's what our producer just said.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the editing on that. That's
It's like everybody's got a home studio now. I mean,
They
it's
got
amazing
a green
stuff.
screen and everything.
Straight out of Nickelodeon.
for sure. That's fancy stuff. We appreciate it, guys. Great job. And you're right about the heat. The heat is here today. We're keeping our fingers crossed, though, for perhaps some rain this afternoon. Let's take a look at where we are rainfall-wise. About 1/10 of an inch for the month of July. That's it. Now, that's at the airport. Some places around town have seen more rain than that, but that's about 2.65 inches below average. For the year, we're at 14 inches, 14.13, and that's nearly 5 inches below average. So it gives you an idea that, yeah, we need some rain. Here's why we might get some today. There is a frontal boundary across parts of north central Texas. It is sliding south, and this is one of those rare late July fronts. It does not have any cool air with it. It's not going to cool us down, but it's enough to give lift to some showers and storms. We're starting to see that across northeast Texas. We've seen some activity out in west Texas as well. In the upper levels, we've got flow out of the north and west. This is typically a good flow for us with the high pressure way off out over Arizona because we can get these little disturbances that come around that ridge of high pressure and push some rain down into South Texas. We see that every now and then. And I think that's sort of the setup for today, and then we have that front as well. So a couple things working in our favor. The convective outlook of the severe weather potential today, it's marginal. We're at a marginal risk for mainly most of the area, and the main threats are going to be gusty winds, I think. There could be some hail, but I don't think that's a huge issue. So as we look at the futurecast here, this is around 4 or 5 o'clock. You see some showers and storms developing right along the front. We could see a little bit of activity even out ahead of it down to the south. And this may continue into tonight. When you get this northwesterly flow, sometimes these storms can still stay active during the overnight period, but more activity around 10 o'clock. And then even as we go into 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, we're still talking about some showers and storms, and that's 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. So we're going to keep the rain chance overnight. We may see even more activity as we get into tomorrow afternoon as well. So this is looking pretty good. I mentioned the main threat there is wind. Everything else is really low end here. So if you get a wind gust maybe up to 60 miles per hour, it's possible with these storms. 30% chance of rain 5 o'clock to about 8 o'clock. With this frontal boundary. Outside right now, 81 degrees. Dew point is at 73. Heat index is at 86. You see the thick morning clouds over Bexar County right now. Those will break apart some, and we already are seeing some clearing down to the south. 79 Stinson, 82 right now. Pleasanton, 81 Carrizo Springs, 83 right now in Austin. Forecast 98 here in town. Heat index will be close to 103 until those storms get here, and hopefully that'll cool us down some. Very quickly, we've got to talk about the hurricane we have out there. Isaias is moving off to the northwest. It is expected to affect places like Florida in the coming days. Winds right now at 80 miles per hour. This will work up the East Coast. This is going to be a problem because this hurricane is still going to be going as it gets up towards Washington and New York. So this could cause some real issues up and down the East Coast next couple days. If you plan on doing some traveling, heads up. Here's 7-day forecast. 30% chance of rain tonight into tomorrow. 98 on your Saturday, 99 Sunday, 99 Monday. A couple more chances of rain, and then things really dry out and heat up as we get into next week. Guys.
Thank you, Justin. 922, 81 degrees.
Still ahead on GMSA at 9, a California family is bringing the aquarium to their home due to the coronavirus pandemic. After the break, we'll show you how they're getting neighbors involved.
925, a Burbank family got creative during quarantine by making an aquarium and zoo in their front yard.
In today's good news story, Mark Cota-Robles with KBC and Los Angeles shows us the educational display that's still growing.
Visiting places like the Aquarium of the Pacific in Long Beach hasn't been so easy amid the COVID-19 pandemic. First a closure, then regulated to outdoor exhibits only with reservations required. With so much uncertainty, one family decided they wanted to help fill the void.
It started with a stingray named Antwerp made out of construction paper, and then it went boom.
The Ruff family had the wild idea to create this at their Burbank home on Parkside Avenue, an aquarium which is now expanded to be a community zoo, all with a little imagination, of course.
Everything's made out of recycled materials. Like this was a juice bottle, this was a laundry pod container.
Here at the aquarium on Parkside, all of the sea life zoo animals and exhibits have a name, like Diamond the Lion, the Chameleon Canopy, and the Toucan Brothers.
The neighbor that lives here has just done wonderful things for the neighborhood, and people stop by, and it's certainly helping with the COVID and having the kids do something fun and very creative.
There is now more than 700 decorated cardboard cutouts on display, some decorated by the community. In addition, the Ruffs are collecting art supplies for third grade students in South Central Los Angeles. Their hope is that the aquarium and zoo creatures can spread some love during the pandemic. You can see it's working.
Having them come by and give us feedback that they love it, it makes it all worthwhile.
And they're not done yet.
So we have no end date. It's kind of just until we run out of Amazon boxes,
which nowadays shouldn't be in short supply. In Burbank, Mark Cota-Robles, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
It's 927 and 81 degrees. There's still a lot more ahead on GMSA.
Matthew McConaughey sharing his life adventures in a new book. Erica Hernandez will be live with details on when you could grab your own copy.
Welcome back. It's 9:30. Matthew McConaughey, Topo Chico Seltzer, and new Spurs jersey. That's what's trending on KSAT.com this week.
Erica Hernandez joining us live from home with more details on these trending stories. Happy Friday there, Erica.
Hey guys, happy Friday and good morning. So one of Texas's favorite celebrities, Matthew McConaughey, is stepping into the literary world by writing a book. But he says it's not a traditional memoir. The book, titled Green Light, is the latest project for the 50-year-old Oscar-winning actor. McConaughey says the book is a playbook based on adventures in his life and comes from a diary he has kept for 35 years. McConaughey made the announcement about the book earlier this week, and it will be available October 20th. And guys, what I found interesting about this is that how long has he kept this diary? 35 years. That's kind of incredible.
I know. I got one when I was 13 and did like 2 days.
Right?
That's an accomplishment, though.
Yeah, I mean, it should sell pretty well, right?
Oh, I think it'll do fine. Next up, let's talk about Topo Chico. The popular mineral water is joining the hard seltzer beverage trend. Topo Chico hard seltzer will be on sale soon, but in the U.S., you'll have to wait to get your hands on some. The beverage will first be offered in select cities in Latin America later this year, according to the Coca-Cola Company. They are calling it an experimental drink as the company explores new products in dynamic beverage categories. Now, I'm not a big fan of the seltzer drinks, but I think I might try this one because I love Topo Chico.
Oh, it's definitely a staple here in San Antonio.
Well, it's already a crowded market. White Claw has kind of dominated. Everybody else is trying to get on the game. Not surprised Topo Chico wants a bit of that too.
Yeah.
All right, guys, and finally, it feels so good to say this. It is game day. The Spurs will be back on the court tonight for their first game of the NBA season that was stopped in March because of the coronavirus pandemic. Now, 12 Spurs players, along with others in the league, will be sporting jerseys with social justice messages on them. Prior to the restart of the season, the league and the Players Association agreed to allow the messages to be displayed on team jerseys. Justice was the message selected by most of the players, followed by Black Lives Matters and equality. For the players who chose the messages will be displayed in place of a player's last name on the back of the jersey. And how great is it, guys, to say "Go Spurs, go" again?
It's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Marco Bellinelli's what he has in the back. I think it's Italian for equality,
Italian,
right?
yes.
Yeah. Okay, we're ready to see our guys back in action.
That's right.
Thank you, Erica.
Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you so much. Let's go outside with live cam. The weekend is finally here, or we're very close to it. Here's Justin.
Yeah, we're awful close. I'm so stoked about the Spurs being back. It is very exciting. It's also exciting that we have some chances of rain in the forecast, notably this afternoon, because we could see a couple strong storms. I want to show you the radar real quick. And we're not looking at any rain right now, but what I've circled there, that is the frontal boundary. It looks like it is making its way through San Angelo. It is making some progress off to the south. It's right along that boundary where I would expect to see some showers and storms, and I think that's probably going to be later this afternoon after 3 o'clock or so. So we've moved up the timing just a little bit. Here's the severe weather risk today. Those areas you see shaded in green, that is a marginal risk. And that does include San Antonio. Really much of our area, it's low end. So we're talking on a scale of 1 to 5 here, about a 1. I think if we're going to see any severe weather, it's probably going to be in the form of some strong gusty winds. And looking at the pollen count, it just came in. It's at 3,880. That's up a little bit from where it was yesterday, but down from that big number that we saw on Wednesday. Forecast for today, about a 30% chance of rain this afternoon. Temperatures will still be hot. 98 for a high. We've got some more chances going into tonight and tomorrow as well. We'll detail that forecast in just a couple minutes. Guys.
We want to take you back out right now. Live look at Loop 410 on the southwest side where the cleanup of a major accident continues. SAPD is still on the scene at last check. Eastbound 410 near Somerset remains closed. The vehicles are still out there, so the investigation still continues. This is going to be running for at least another hour or two. We hope to have an update for you coming up on the news at noon. It'd be nice to have those lanes back open. A couple of people have been hospitalized. We have no other details. A Pennsylvania teen who's never won a golf championship and has never gotten a hole-in-one can now be the most famous golfer in the country.
Kendall Kim just swung her club for the first time in 6 years. The 16-year-old lost use of her left hand after she had a stroke in 2014. On Sunday, she went to a driving range to hit some golf balls around for the first time since then. This video was taken by her mom, and it went viral very quickly.
Well, listen to this. Professional golfer Nick Faldo responded with his own video offering Kim personalized tips, and her video was even shown on ESPN. Kim's mom says all the attention has piqued her daughter's interest in learning more about the game.
Way to go, Kendall. Don't give up.
Don't give up. Never surrender. We've got part of the Stonehenge mystery solved. Of course, those stones in southern England have been around since about 2500 BC, built during the late Neolithic period.
Okay, so those huge stones, new research is saying they came just about 15.5 miles away from their location in southern England.
Yeah, most of the sarsens or sandstone boulders came from the Westwoods in the English county of Wiltshire. The sarsens are up to 30 feet tall and can weigh as much as 25 tons.
They use special technology to analyze samples from the core that were previously drilled through those big boulders and a range of boulders from across southern Britain.
So here's the deal. We still don't know why they're there. We still don't know how they got them the 15 miles from here to there, but we know they're from the same general area.
Well, in 2018, experts did say that they might have been built using the Greek philosopher Pythagoras' theory, and that was 2 millennia before the mathematical equation was developed. So,
one mystery solved, the rest of those questions wide open.
So many questions.
It's 9:37, 81 degrees. You're watching GMSA at 9.
After the break, David and Justin join us to break down some of our favorite stories from this week on this Fun Friday.
This week has been filled with some cool videos and fun stories, so we end the week bringing back some of our favorites for our Fun Story Friday.
David and Justin, they join us as well for all the Friday fun.
All right, where do we begin here, David?
Let's go to the pool.
Okay.
Let's just take you to the pool. The black bear hanging out in the kiddie pool. Look at that. See, that's a lot of us this weekend right there.
Definitely.
This one's
a little bit jealous. That pool's barely big enough.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that was a dad
That's
joke.
good. But there we are this weekend. Look, he's like, hey, where's the drink? Who's got the beverage?
Do we have snacks?
You know what chased the bear off? The kids came home. The grandkids came home, and the dog came home, and then the bear had to leave. It's like,
Get out of our pool.
yeah. So here's another one. He just like flops his leg out, like, it's a great.
Okay.
Look at that, the raccoon. It's like, hey, let's try.
Yeah, but
this
see,
out.
notice he's got the front legs going, the back end. It's like a lazy Labrador floating in a lake. You know?
It's like
So there you go.
it's like a little pillow.
Uh-huh.
And this one, I've never heard of this happening. A hotel had to kick an emu boy and brother and sister out.
Yes.
2 emus.
Yeah, they got banned, right?
Yeah, they got thrown out of this hotel. This is in the outback in Australia. Apparently, the brother and sister, I think Kevin and Carol.
I love their
are their
names.
Yeah,
Kevin and
Carol, the emu family, were
Did
like
you say
showing
Kevin
up.
and Karen or Kevin and Carol?
Carol.
Don't get it wrong.
Okay, I don't want to get it wrong.
So.
Yeah, I heard they're not allowed back in any Hilton properties.
No, there's like, hey, you guys are in the outback.
Well,
what do
they
you
were
expect?
being naughty. They were stealing food out
Yeah.
of people's hands.
That's all right. We got to eat. Invite us in. So
Okay.
there you go.
All right, so there's 3.
There's a couple of things to put a smile on your face after another long week.
Basically, any animal video
Yeah.
where there's stealing food or
It's good stuff.
swimming involved.
One day we're going to have viral video of a squirrel water skiing.
No.
That's been around for 20 years now, right?
Yes.
Has that ever happened?
It did happen.
It happened.
Way before the internet was invented.
We need more of that.
Enjoy your weekend.
You as well. Thank you, David. 9:43. Justin's here with the weekend forecast. It is unusual to talk about any sort of frontal system this time of year.
Yeah, if memory serves, we had a frontal boundary last year at about this time, and we were saying the same thing. Like, man, this is weird. It's just sort of the pattern that we're in. It is pushing our frontal boundary south. Now, we think front, we think cooler temperatures. That will not be the case. But what it will do for us is hopefully kick up some showers and storms. So these are the upper level winds. We have a ridge of high pressure out over Arizona. Typically, this ridge of high pressure almost sits over top of us, and we get nothing. But since it's that far to the west, it sort of opens up the door, if you will. We get northwesterly flow locked. And whenever we get into this pattern, it makes forecasting a bit tricky because we can see thunderstorms that develop way up here, make it all the way down into South Texas. And that's something we're going to watch Sunday into Monday. But in the meantime, it's also helping to push a frontal boundary to the south. And that's why we have some chances for storms today. And in fact, there could be a couple stronger storms. So this is the severe storm potential. We've got a marginal risk today. When you're thinking about a scale of 1 to 5, this is a 1, so it's low end. And really the main risk is going to be some gusty winds if we do see some of those storms really start to bubble up. Here's a look at the visible satellite picture, and we can actually pick out the front right there. We've got a nice line of clouds with it. No rain yet, but I think as we get later into the afternoon, we get some daytime heating, some moisture, we'll start to see some storms kick up along their frontal boundary. It'll probably slow down a little bit too. We tend to see that during the heating of the day, but it'll work its way into the hill country this afternoon initially, and then towards San Antonio this evening. Here's a look at the computer model, and we see some of those storms right along the front around 5 o'clock. And this front's going to sort of fall apart a little bit, but there's still enough there to give some lift. And around 10 o'clock, we're still seeing some storms. And with this northwesterly flow aloft, a lot of times we can also see storms survive during the nighttime hours. So we're going to keep rain chances in there during the overnight and even into Saturday morning. And if we can get one of these little clusters to develop, which the models have been hinting at last couple days, then you could get some decent rain in spots. But we're not going to make any promises here because it's still going to be isolated and not everybody will get rain. The front will also be around tomorrow, so that means some more isolated chances Saturday afternoon. And again, we'll watch what happens Sunday and Monday as well. As far as the risk for severe weather, it really is just wind. There could be a little bit of hail and some of the stronger storms, but it's not likely. Flooding and the tornado threat, obviously very low. Forecast for today, 98 degrees your high temperature, 30% chance of rain, 5 o'clock through 8 o'clock, and we'll keep that going into the overnight. 82 degrees right now, cloudy skies. Dew point is at 73, heat index is at 87, 81 Canyon Lake, 83 New Braunfels, 84 right now in Pleasanton, 79 Uvalde, 81 and Carrizo Springs, and the dew points are way up there, mid 70s. So it's extremely sticky. There will be a heat index today, and in fact, it will probably go over 100 in many spots. Temperatures in the 90s. Now, it will be a little bit cooler up north where we start to feel the influences of some of the clouds and potentially rain this afternoon. Here's the 7-day forecast. So we'll go with the 30% chance of rain. We're just going to sort of broad brush it from this afternoon and this evening all the way through Saturday morning, and then another chance Saturday afternoon. 98 degrees, 99 Sunday, 20% chance of rain. We'll keep a 20% chance in there Monday, and then next week the ridge builds back in. That high pressure that's over Arizona starts to build over Texas, and that brings the heat and takes away our rain chances, guys.
Looking good. Thank you, Justin. 946, 81 degrees.
We'll take a look at today's 9 at 9. That's next.
950, good news regarding hospitalizations in Bexar County regarding COVID-19 and a vaccine trial taking place right here in the Alamo City.
Plus, Amazon, they're heading to space. Here's today's 9 at 9.
A first in nearly 30 days for Bexar County. Hospitalizations now under the 1,000 mark.
Numbers are a good sign, but city officials warn it could change if we let our guard down.
A federal program that provides unemployed Americans an extra $600 a week expires today.
Leaders on the Hill aren't on the same page for a new plan to help those struggling financially.
A vaccine for COVID-19 being put to the test in our area. Pfizer's vaccine and placebo are being given out to participants as part of a double-blind study.
I can't think of a more important clinical trial to participate in than this one.
It is official. Isaias has strengthened into a hurricane. This after hitting the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico with torrential rainfall. A hurricane warning has been issued for the central and southeastern Bahamas.
Trump's statement about delaying an American election was shot down immediately by Democrats and Republicans.
Never in the history of the country, through wars, depressions, and the Civil War, have we ever not had a federally scheduled election on time.
Well, no charges will be filed against a former Missouri police officer after a reinvestigation into the 2014 shooting death of 18-year-old Michael Brown. Wilson shot Brown, who was not armed, after a struggle ensued when Wilson stopped Brown on Ferguson Street. The George W. Bush Presidential Center in Dallas says it got hit by a ransomware attack back in May. Demographic and donation information were stolen. The center says it paid a ransom to ensure the compromised information was destroyed.
After a 4-month delay, pro basketball is back with virtual fans in the stands. Coaches no longer required to wear suits while living in the bubble, and the referees now using whistle cover.
Amazon heading into space. The FCC has given Amazon permission to launch more than 3,000 satellites. They'll create a broadband internet service providing high-speed connections to underserved communities and others.
Let's take a look outside with TransGuide. That is I-10 and Ralph Fair. Looks pretty clear there. And I couldn't see what camera that was.
Looked good, though.
Look good, yeah, great.
But good traffic. We've got mostly cloudy skies right now. About a 30% chance of rain as we get later into today. There could be a couple strong storms this evening. We'll be watching that into tomorrow morning as well, and a few more chances tomorrow afternoon. We'll be here should the showers and storms develop this evening. Guys.
Deep in his heart is the sports anchor we all know and love, David Sears. He's on cloud 9 today because the Spurs are back.
It's a big day, David.
How does it go? Are you ready?
Are you ready?
That's
ready?
close.
Ready?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, close. Hey, Mark, I'm always throwing numbers at you, like turnover numbers.
Bring it.
Let's have this. I think it's right at like 142. So you know what number that is? 142. I think that's the right number.
Don't know.
You don't know what that number is?
I don't.
You know what the turnover numbers are. You don't know what that number? That's the number. That's how many days it's been since the Spurs played a basketball game.
Okay, that's a good one.
So the last time they played, they beat the Dallas Mavericks. So they got a little winning streak going.
I thought 142 was the number of turnovers that they've had in three scrimmage games.
Wow. Not quite. Almost. That might be how many points they gave up on those turnovers. So tonight they tip off against the Sacramento Kings. It's the 8-game season. They're 4 games out of the 8th playoff spot in the West. So they've got a lot of work to do in those 8 games that they have. They start tonight against Sacramento, and then they play the Grizzlies on Sunday. Back-to-back games in the bubble. They play on Monday the 76ers, and then next Wednesday the Nuggets. So that's their first 4. So the first 4 games may go a long way in determining whether or not they're going to even have a fight at the end of the season for that 8th playoff spot. But no Bryn Forbes tonight. He's got a little, I think it's a hamstring, got a little injury problem, so he won't play. But, Lonnie Walker's in the lineup, and DeJounte Murray, and they got all these young guys in that starting lineup tonight. So, it's about getting them some experience, but the older guys, they want to get into the playoffs, man. They want to make it. So we'll have to see how this unfolds.
Great way to roll out the weekend. Spurs tonight, and again on
Been waiting a
Sunday
long time.
afternoon.
Can't wait.
Go Spurs,
And you said they need to win at least 4 or better.
No, I think they need at least a minimum of 6.
6 or better.
Or better. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Thank you, David.
All right.
Some good news for folks who are stuck in the summer doldrums, and that is that the drive-in at Fiesta, Texas has come up with a way to celebrate Halloween a little bit early.
But we're actually not going to talk about that right now because it's Mark Austin's birthday on Sunday.
Okay.
Got him.
It's one of those things. I see.
That's a good start, though, Mark. Way to go.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Oriana.
And you actually turning red? Oh.
Yeah. Is that a bundt cake?
It's a bundt cake.
Thank you, Oriana.
And
you're welcome. Celebrating you.
It's of course
nothing but cakes.
You're scooching it closer to you. It's COVID friendly because it has not been touched and it's all wrapped up.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to share it.
I was going to say I don't want to because of COVID.
It's all yours, Mark.
It's your lucky birthday.
Yeah,
Big
thank
day.
you guys.
When's the actual day? Sunday.
Sunday.
Sunday. All right.
Yeah,
Well, happy
Sunday. Mike is Monday. Yeah.
Are you doing anything special?
I'm just gonna go out to dinner this weekend, but nothing special. No fishing. No anything. Eat cake. Let them eat cake. I'm gonna eat
Lots of cake.
Yes, but thank you guys.
Mark is turning 38. I said it earlier. We're sticking to it.
38. Add a few more. Winds up. What's the Pythagorean theorem again?
A squared, B squared, C squared
Equals 53.
There you go.
There we go.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Happy birthday, Mark.
Have a great
Thank you guys
weekend.
very much for joining us.
More on Summer Ween Weekend coming up Monday.